Hey there, do you want to try something a little different today? Be honest, are you still making all your classroom presentations with Google Slides? What if I told you there's a faster, easier, and way more creative way to wow your students and your colleagues at the same time? Let's shake things up and see what Gamma can do. All right, so we're going to dive into Gamma. It is one of my favorite tools to create websites, presentations, PDFs that are downloadable things that I can give to my students. And I just love it. It's super simple to use. It's AI driven, and it's going to save you a ton of time. Now, you do have the free plan, which you can see right here, start for free. And you pretty much don't need to upgrade ever if that's enough for you. I have the next tier up, which is $10, and there's another one that's $20. For $10, though, I'm getting every single thing I need, including bells and whistles. I'm maybe not getting several different pro AI image generators, but from what I'm getting, from what I'm paying for, is just enough for me. So I want you to dive in. Let's take a tour of it. Let's start creating some stuff and have some fun. So up here, you can, of course, do start for free or log in. So I'm going to log in. So right away, you'll see that I've been using this quite a bit. I use it all the time. I'm getting ready to start doing some new stuff for the fall. If I spend a day on this, at the most, I'll have every single deck, everything I need to present to all of my 130 students in my 4 different classes that I teach. They'll be ready to go. I'll be freshening up old PowerPoints, old Google Slides that are just boring, making them more interactive with video content and Instagram and TikTok. And oh my God, it just does everything. So how does this all work? So here, when you log in, you'll see what you've recently created. So you can click on it and go back in and fix things. You can go create new with the help of AI. You can go new from blank. If you just want to go in there and just start working on it yourself without any help, you can do that. You can also have AI help you along the way. So even though you don't create with AI here, the new one, you can still do it in the blank and have it help later. You can import old PowerPoints, PDFs. You can import a website, all kinds of things like that. And then down here will be all of your stuff. Like I said, you can go grid or you can go list, however you like to work. I'm a grid guy, so I can see visually what I'm looking at. One of the cool things they just added a little bit ago was sharing. So I can share this with a fellow teacher in my department or my admins, or maybe I'm working on something together with my students for the news team or something. And then sites right here, you'll see that I've got some different sites that we've made. I'll show you those later as we get into that. AI images, here's all the images I've created all over time. So you got tons of stuff. If you want to actually go back and use them again, you can. This is something I haven't used yet, but it's to create or join a folder. So if I'm working with students in groups, I would do that. So I'm probably going to use this year for eSports. So I'm just going to type in eSports, and we will create a new folder now. And so now I've got this new folder here just for eSports that I can invite other members. So Johnny is a guy that is one of my students who's in charge of eSports. He's the manager. So I can have him come in here and work on these together, which is pretty cool. There's different templates here that you can start out with if you're looking for that. There's inspiration. There's the themes that you can do. You can create your own things. You can import themes, but they come with a ton of themes already. Custom fonts, if you've got any interest in that, and you do have to upgrade to the pro account. And then, of course, your trash, where you've trashed all the things you don't need. Settings and members, here's the logos, billing and description, and then contact support and share feedback. So we'll go back to the top here where it says Gamma, and we're just going to create a new one with AI. So there's 3 different things you can do here, and they're all user-friendly. First one is paste in text. Now, maybe you created, you have some notes from something you went to that you've been doodling and you want to import those. Maybe you created an outline, or maybe there's some existing content that you just want to bring in. You can also generate from one-line prompts. You can import files or URLs. So if you have existing docs, presentations, or web pages, like I said, if you have an old PowerPoint, I'll show you how to do that as well. Underneath that, it's just got your recent prompts. It'll load more if you want. So I'm going to start out with the magic here. We're going to paste in text. So I'm going to click on that. And you'll see here that I've got a presentation I can create, a web page, a document, and social. So you can do stuff for social as well. Traditional underneath here. So if I click on that presentation, there's a couple of different options I have. There's default, which is the fluid version of it, where it just kind of scrolls through and it'll make things bigger and smaller and scale everything. It's beautiful. I don't particularly use it anymore because I found that if I keep it traditional, I can still export it as a PDF that fits with everything. And I just find traditional a lot easier to use. But if you just want to have something gorgeous moving around with fluidity, that's what I would choose. You can also use tall 4x3 for if you're doing any kind of presentations on LinkedIn or all kinds of places like that. You can do stuff like that. Inside of here is where you'll type your content in, and then underneath that it says, what do you want to do with this content? You want to generate from notes. So if we just threw some notes in there, we would do that. Do I want to summarize a long text or document? So maybe I've got this huge piece of material that I put in there and I wanted to summarize this and make it presentable. I can do that. And then preserve this exact text. So if you have created something that you just want to keep it the same, but just make it beautifully visual, so you can do that as well. So inside of here, one of the things I like to use is, of course, ChatGPT, which is my go-to for brainstorming and whatnot. So I'm just going to dive into chat really quick. And inside here, I created a prompt for a Gamma slide deck. And it's going to be for high school students, titled AI and Everyday Life. And I am going to just select all of this and then copy it. And then we're going to go back into Gamma and I'm going to paste it. And here it is. It's going to explain the cover, the slides. There's going to be, looks like 7 slides it created. And then I'm going to do generate from notes or outline. I don't need to summarize this. I don't need to preserve this. I want it to do its magic. So I'm going to go to the next prompt here. And now we're in the prompt editor. So if I need to make any changes or fixes, I can go up here on the left and generate this prompt. I can condense it, shorten it to be more concise, and I can preserve my original content once again. So even though you didn't do it at the beginning, you still have a chance to do it here. Amount of text, detailed, concise, extensive, minimal, that's entirely up to you. I'm writing for high school students with limited prior knowledge. So it chose this from whatever information it took from that. So that is a really cool thing. The tone, you can change all of this. I like what it usually defaults to. So engaging, accessible, and informative. I can change the language. If I'm not using American English, I can go and change it to a ton of other things. Here's Catalan, here's Danish, here's Dutch, tons of different French. So if maybe you're the Spanish teacher and you want to make a new thing, you could do it all in Spanish. So lots of options here. I usually use this. I have some Chinese learners and I have Spanish learners. So if I'm making a presentation to the class, which might be 30 students, I'll probably do this for the Chinese students in Chinese and then upload it to my Google Classroom where they can go and check it out on their own later. And they actually love that I provide that as well for them. So I'm going to keep this English, of course. Now in images here, I have options. I can click on here. Do I want AI images? Do I want to choose stock photos? So it'll actually go to Unsplash and choose its own stock photos. It'll go web images. I don't particularly recommend that because a lot of these might be copyright images. And I'd rather either use stock here or the AI images. It'll also create illustrations if you want, so you can choose that as well, depending on what you're looking for. Image style, optional, so I want to choose any color, style, mood. Maybe you've got teen colors that you want to do or school colors. You can actually do all that. The AI image model is this one, which is fine. You'll see there's a bunch of different ones. I'll give you examples of what they are on the right here as I hover over them. They're all really great. And then the format, of course, is traditional. On the right here, there's any additional instructions. You can do all of that. We're going to leave it there and make it do its own thing. It's going to make 8 cards. So when you create an account, it's going to tell you how many cards you can make. I believe the free account has 5 or 6 cards. And then when we pay for more, you can do more cards. So you have lots of options with that. Usually they're around 8 cards, 10 cards that you want to use, and that just means slides. So let's go to continue. Now this is where you're going to pick a theme. Do you want a dark theme? Do you want something like this? Since this is AI and futuristic, I'm going to look around for something fun for us. Let's maybe this one, and we'll just hit generate. I can shuffle the theme, etc. I'm going to hit generate. And you'll see in seconds, we're going to start making our super cool presentation on AI. So here we go. AI in everyday life. What is artificial intelligence? So I've got class in 5 minutes and I forgot to make a presentation. Do you see how fast this is? It's absolutely mind-blowing. Where before you'd sit in Google Slides, what am I going to write here? What am I going to write in this slide? And then you start to get bored too when you're making slides with these other tools because you're just like, I got to get done with this. Here, you can be creative because it's doing a lot of the work for you. So if you need to jump in and just change a few things, you certainly can do that. So let's go back up to the top here. And here it says AI in everyday life. Here's a really interesting, beautiful image that they created. A guide to discovering how artificial intelligence is shaping our world. And so it's going down here. It got all this data and information. And social AI is part of our life, social media, streaming services, voice assistants. This is fantastic for me talking to intro kids who don't know a lot about AI, but are probably using it in some way. So it's already given me great talking points. What are some of the tools? We got ChatGPT and generative AI, LLMs. So using AI for schoolwork, remember, AI should help you learn, not replace your thinking. So it's even helping us with that. It's giving us all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, so let's go back into a couple of these. So what is artificial intelligence? So it's saying all these things right here. And it's telling us some interesting facts and whatnot. So I think after this, what might be a good thing to do is I'm going to add a blank card right here. It's keeping with everything. And then inside of this, I'm going to do card styling, just do it blank like that. So when I go to the right here, I've got a ton of different tools. You'll see I've got card templates, smart layouts, basic blocks, images, videos and media, embed apps and web pages, charts and diagrams, and forms and buttons. So before I show you what all those do, I just want to show you this, for example. I'm going to go into this video here that was about what is AI. I'm going to grab the URL, Command C, and then we're going to go back in here. So maybe after I've talked about this, I want to add a video now, so play it right after that. So I'm going to go video. And inside of this, you'll see you can add a gallery of images. I can use video or audio embeds. Maybe I have my own videos that I want to show. Maybe some of the students used it in class and made some great videos for me. I want to show those in here. I can do stuff like that. I can use Loom, which I love because sometimes I'll demo things on Loom and give it to the kids later, but now I can put it inside of the presentation. YouTube, Vimeo, Wistia, TikTok, and Spotify. So I'm going to go to YouTube here. I'm going to embed that URL we had. And now we've got that here. It's telling me what it is. We're great. I love this. And now, do I want to make this link as an embed, which we just did? Do I make it a link that people can just watch and click on? Maybe I want it at the end of the other slide instead. Do I want to make it a button? Hey, watch this video here. Do I want to just give it a preview? Maybe this preview is on the bottom of this up here so that kids can watch this on their own time later. Or do I want to use it as an embed? So now that it's embedded, I can now go in here and play this as I'm doing my presentation. All right, so that is one fantastic thing. Let's go back up here, a guide to everyone. So maybe I don't really like this text right here, so I'm going to click on it. And now it's bringing up my text tool, so I can change it to normal text, of course, to use all your different headings and displays and etc. Redo that. Bold, all the things you find in the text editor, except on the right here, I can say edit with AI. So I click on that. I can say, let's make this a little more engaging. Let's expand it. Let's condense it. Visualize the key points I'm talking about, etc. I'm going to click make it a little bit engaging. On the right here, you'll see that it comes up with 3 different ways. So a guide to understanding. So here it says, unveil the secrets of artificial intelligence, the force shaping your world, explore AI's inner workings, etc. So if I click that really quick, it'll change it over to the whole thing we just did. And if we don't like that, we just press Command Z and we get back out of it. So super powerful to help you on the fly write and make your writing better. This over here, for example, it seems a little small to me, so I might make this something bigger like that. Okay, so now I can do stuff like that. This image works for me. So I can do all kinds of fun stuff with it. So let's explore on the right all the different things that we have. Here's card templates. So even though it made this, I might want to change things and have 2 columns. Timeline it'll make, text boxes, maybe you got testimonials, whatever. So it's got tons of options. Okay, so that's the text box. Smart layouts. So do I want this to be a bullet point layout? Once again, these are all simple things. A pyramid layout, depending on what you're having here, what kind of data, you can do all of that. Here's your basic blocks. So I do want a title, a heading, tables. Maybe I've created some great tables. I just want to copy and paste them in here. Can do all of that. You can also in ChatGPT say, I need a table for this data, make it 4x4 and make it copy and paste available. So I can do that. Bulleted lists if I want to, call out boxes. I can put code in here. Here's a math box, write equations using KTech syntax. I don't really know what that is, to be honest, but if you're a math person, you probably do. If there's collaborators, any footnotes I want, table of contents. I mean, this has everything. Images here. So once again, I can upload. Maybe I've got a bunch of images like for my eSports team that I have, and I want to upload those into the placeholders that it has now. Easy to do. Web search. So I'm looking for a specific image, maybe a map of somewhere. I can do that. Here's all the AI images. Like I said, Unsplash. If I want to use GIFs from Giphy, I can use that. So that's really fun because GIFs, people love GIFs. Maybe finding their favorite meme or something. Pictographic illustrations, icons. Icons are great. QR codes. If I want a QR, click on this at the end to sign up. There's accent images, and then you can make a gallery like I said before. Okay, so maybe I want to add a card here and add a link to a website that I want them to check out later. So I can click on that. And then inside of this, I'm going to put a URL. For now, I'm just going to put our high school in there and leave that alone. And there it is. And maybe I want to preview, or maybe I want to embed this. So now here's our link to our high school that they can check out in the presentation. Maybe I'm trying to explain where to go on the website to make sure where you enroll, etc. All of that is doable. And let's go back into this. You can embed a PDF file. So maybe you've got a file you want them to download later. Maybe there's stuff in Google Drive or Instagram that you want, tweets, maybe. All this other stuff is kind of, we don't really use it in Skool, but you can see you do have the option to use it as well. Underneath that, you've got charts and diagrams. Do I want a Venn diagram? Here it is. I can do that. Let's look and see, do I want some kind of fun swoosh with the data right here? I can do that. But look at all these different types of diagrams and smart layouts you have to create some really fun stuff. Here's our weekly calendar. It pops it up like this so that I can put all my information in here. That is super cool. I love this. This is going on my eSports website. And then down here, another thing we have is forms and buttons. Maybe you've got some Google Forms that you want to bring in here. Put the link in there. The form will be there, and people can see how to do the form. So like I said, maybe you want to export this later as a PDF so they can have access to all that. Let's delete this slide because we're not going to use it, and we'll just keep things the way they are. So next up here, you're going to use Present. So if I click and present it, it's going to go full screen. Do I want it to present in this tab? Do I want it full screen, or do I want presenter view where I can have notes to go along with my presentation? So that is a great feature as well. If I go down here, I can share this with people. Let's go to share now. So share is where we have workspace members, like I showed you earlier. I can copy this link to view the analytics. I can publish it at the site so that it's open to the public, so anyone can see it. I can collaborate, share, export. So in exports, now what can I do? Well, I can export this as a PDF. So once I've presented it, I always do this as well. So I always tell the kids that I've exported the presentation as a PDF and it's in the classroom for them to download. I can do it to Google Slides, which some schools may want you to do that. Maybe you have to stay on Google Slides or PowerPoint. I can also export it as PNGs because maybe later I want to make a video about this, and I can do that as well. I actually use 11 Labs, which is an audio tool. That's an AI audio tool that I will export these PNGs, bring in the text I want into 11 Labs. It'll record everything, and then I just pair it up with the image from this, and I've got myself a video. So it's really great to do all that. There's a new thing here that lets you post directly to LinkedIn, which I never seen before. So that's kind of cool if you have a LinkedIn page that you want everyone in the world to see your presentation. So this is me creating a presentation quickly using Gamma. Let's go back out here. So now I'm going to go in here and create, I'm going to do a web page, and I'm going to say create a web page for Titan eSports, a high school, school eSports team in San Marino, California. And let's just do that. Let's see what it does for the outline. So now it's drafting an outline for me just based on my one-page prompt. Here it is. It's pulling things. Let's see what it's pulled. Official eSports team of San Marino High School, founded in 2022 to offer cutting-edge team experience. This is all stuff it pulled that is super cool, and yes, it is true. Compete in League of Legends, Rocket League, Valorant, Smash Brothers. Yes, we do, and plus other ones. It's got 28 active players, 4 coaches, 3 captains. Well, this is all really interesting because a lot of this is true. Player spotlights, all state, LOL, League of Legends, MVP. Yep. So we did do a lot of things. So I'm going to check this out. A lot of this stuff's interesting. Team average GPA. I mean, it's not grabbing, it doesn't have the students' information and stuff, so it's not grabbing all of the information. 2025 Southern California eSports League semifinalist, Rocket League, no, but we did win the national championship in GeoGuessr. So these are things that I would fix and change. And like, it's just putting out the best information it can. Titan eSports at SMUSD. The room is going to be 301. So that is our eSports room, social media, etc. It's drafted all this stuff on its own. As you saw, I can go in there and change what it says. So actually, we'll go in here and do, let's get out of this. Let's do 2025 national. And now it's going to generate and make us a website that I can link within the school's website if I'd like to. So here it is, making a nice little website. And I can start to go in here and just really tweak everything and to my exact amount of team members, the coaches, the female members, all that information. This is actually something that I'll probably use this template as we go forward, and then just change colors and change images and stuff like that. We've got our own really cool stuff in here. One of the person that won the GeoGuessr National Championship, I gave him a championship ring, so maybe I can have a picture of him with the ring. Talks about guest coaching, all kinds of information. And this is invaluable, especially when parents message me and say, my child wants to be on the eSports team, but is that really a thing? Because, of course, parents are skeptical about, my kid wants to play video games. I mean, he wants to do that anyway, so is he lying to me? No, we actually have a competitive eSports game, and if your son or daughter does great on it, there's scholarships out there to go and play in college. So we can give information on all that, and parents just love as much information as possible. But here's my thing, the contact, all the information, our Instagram, email us. Do I need more pages? I can come back in here later and add more pages or do whatever. So all of it's interesting and beautiful. I would replace all this with our logos and our images. And maybe our mission plan's a little different. So it's great. So here, and then on the top right here is where you hit publish. If your site's ready to publish, once you do that, it'll provide a link that you just need to grab, and then you can put that anywhere. It'll be visible to anyone. On the right here, you see we've got all the tools again. And this time, maybe I'm going to want to add a Google form on the bottom for people that want to sign up. So now they see our page, they can go to the Google form and sign in correctly and fill out, which game do they play, what's their name, what's their email, are they available to train during these times, etc. So I've got all these options, and I didn't have to go to something like a Wix or, I don't know, some of these other website builders and start fooling around with all the things. How do I make this website? I literally can make something really aesthetically beautiful and have access to all the text and add things and videos and audio and you name it. And once again, I can go up here and share, and inside here we'll be sharing with all these people. I can export this again. Probably wouldn't do that for a website, but I could. And I can do all kinds of fun stuff. So websites are just killer in this. It's just a great way to go and do stuff like that. All right, so next up, I'm going to go into create new, and we did these. And now maybe I want to import a file. So let me go in here and just show you. This is an old PowerPoint of mine made in Google Slides, composition and mobile video creation. And I've got a bunch of stuff in here and images, and it's okay. It gets the point across for sure, but I've always hated the way it looked until I was able to change that. So inside here, I'm going to go import file. And then once I do that, I'm going to upload the file. So here you see all the things you can import from Drive. Maybe I want to go directly from Google Drive, but I downloaded this as a PowerPoint, so that would be easier for us. Here it's uploading the file super fast. And then once again, do I want this to transform my content and redesign it? Or just polish it? Maybe you've got some great stuff there that you want to keep. You can polish it as well. Is this going to be a presentation, a document, etc.? And then here's the different things we've already done again. So let's do it as a presentation because I've got class in 5 minutes. And I'm going to go here and just look through everything and leave it all alone, and then just press next. I'm going to go find something blue and white. I'll just keep this one for now. We'll hit that. And now it's taking all my information from my boring Google slide presentation, and let's see what it's doing. So crop that, the rule of thirds, it's explaining all that. I'm sure it's going to make some cool imagery. Well, it actually brought in the imagery. So a lot of times it will keep the imagery, but we can change all of that on the fly. So we'll take a look at that. momentarily, but you see how quick it works, especially if you're like, I've got work to do really soon and I don't have my presentation. Well, within a minute to 2 minutes after putting your prompt in or your old slides, you're ready to present to the class. I love that. It's a time saver and just really solid. So it's almost done. One thing it did not keep is my video. So we'll look at that, how to fix that as well. And then there we go. So I'm going to keep that for a minute. It went from this, which is just boring and all blue and stuff and blah, 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 to this, where it's some beautifully aesthetic laid out. Look at all this. And I can change things on the fly if I want to. So once again, I can go in here and change any of the text. I can go in here and say, make this, use AI to make it sound better. Most smartphones, blah, blah, blah. Maybe in this image right here, I want to take a chance and see what else it'll come up with. So it's a detailing illustration of a camera frame divided into a grid of 9 equal parts. So that is the rule of thirds. That's great. I want to see what that looks like. I'm going to look down here. It says keep it square. I'm going to try landscape since this is wide, and let's see what it does. So now it's creating a new image for us in here, and it's showing us the rule of thirds. Let's see. I personally don't like these. Style keepsake, that's my theme style. Let's enhance it again. And then I might want to change it from this type of model to something different. Here's advanced models. Maybe I want to do this Leonardo, see what Leonardo does, and generate that. So if you don't get the image you want, always go in and try using different models, different stuff, different AI models, because you've got a ton of options. And one may be really good at text, and one might be good at making mountains and water, and the other one might be good at people, etc. So it's showing me the grids again. So it's not exactly getting it right, and I'd probably have to keep tweaking it. And let's see what else we've got here. Ideogram, and it tells you, for example, here, good balance of speed. Where is it? Photon flash, basic text. Let's see what that does. Let's try one more, and then we'll move on. And this is all, like I said, trial and error. And your images might be perfect. You don't need to ever do this. So here it's kind of, this is kind of interesting. It's showing me a grid of 9. So this is the rule of thirds. This actually makes sense to me. I'm going to probably use this. I would rather have had a visual with lines through it. So maybe that's just me tweaking the prompt. But for now, this is my 9 rule of thirds. Here's a third, 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 here's a third. So I've got something that I can use. And that actually is easy to explain to kids without having something happening in the background. Here's the image interview shot. Here's all this stuff, creating depth using the rule of thirds, la, la, la. Here, this product shot. I may not like this one. Let's try a new one here. And it's making that. And this one, I'm going to change it from square to portrait. We're going to try a different model again. Let's try this one and see what it comes up with. So for this one, I'm looking for a portrait shot, something vertical that's interesting of a product. So let's see if it comes up with something that we like. So this is interesting. I'm not sure if I like the colors, but here's my product, right? So it's showing that. Let's see if we can find, let's try one more. Let's try Leonardo again. And let's enhance the prompt. And then we'll hit generate. So as you see, you can keep tweaking things, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the perfect image that you need. I'm trying to do my old images and make them better. So there's a little bit more tweaking involved with this, but if you're just getting going and making stuff on the fly from the original. So here's a cool image. Let's actually switch to this one. So this could be my product shot. So here it is. It's centered. It's showing everything. This is a great example of all that. So I like this one a lot. Here you'll see the benefits, the rule of thirds. It's showing me different things here. and then leading lines. I like all that. So I'm going to probably keep a lot of that. Now, one thing that it's missing here is it didn't bring in the video. It brought in an image for this. So what I might do for this is delete it, leave this all alone. We're talking about that. And then right here, I might add a slide, and then I will go and, well, I don't know where it is right now, but if I wanted to add that video about, let's just look up in YouTube, rule of thirds, cinematography. Let's see what comes up with that. All right, so we are going to grab this URL right here. I'm gonna press Command C, and we're gonna go back into Gamma. And over here, we're gonna go to the sidebar again and choose videos and media and YouTube. And then I'm going to paste this in here. And here's our video of rule of thirds. And it looks great. And we want to keep it as an embed. So we'll just click out of there. So now they're learning all of this, and then they're getting to this point, and then, we're just adding interesting things in our presentation that we can, as we're showing this, talking through this, take a break while they watch a little video for a few minutes or 30 seconds or however long it is. So you can see how much better it is to use this instead of Google Slides or PowerPoint, and it's just light years ahead. Okay, so next we're going to do create new again, and I'm going to go to generate. And we've done presentation, we've done web page. I'm going to go to document this time because I want to make a handout to give to everyone about the Civil War vocabulary words, because I'm the history teacher. So here's 8 cards. It automatically went to that, so it's going to be nice and in-depth. Let's create an outline. And it's going to show my outline here, all the key people and groups, military structures and rank, weapons, etc., etc. I can go in here. If I have specific words I want to use, I can change all of this. And I'm going to leave that alone. It looks good. We're going to go into this blue and white one, and then we're going to generate. And let's see what this handout looks like. So it should be really nice, way better than you can do on Google Docs. And I do this constantly for my handouts. You can just look at this with this handout in the background. It's got Civil War stuff. I mean, it's already much nicer. And if you're not printing this is great because you've got some great imagery to look at. Here it's key people and groups. An abolitionist means all of this. A rebel is this. A scalawag is this. Recruits. And then there's some other words down below that include carpetbaggers, etc. Military structures. See how I made an AI image? This is not some image from a painting or anything. This is AI. And it's telling you about the infantry and artillery and all the military stuff. Weapons and technology. This looks absolutely real. I don't think that's a real gun, but it looks real. Here's a picture of an ironclad. Field equipment they use. This looks a little, well, it could be from that era. I don't know if they had orange and stuff, but anyway. They talk about all of that. Here's fortifications. So you can see this is much better. And here's all kinds of data here that it created for us. Let's see, states' rights, expansion, it's all that stuff. Mason-Dixon line. So you can see this is a much better vocabulary list than having just something on a Google Doc that gives you the word and the meaning. Here we've got some more beautiful things to look at, really great imagery. And here we've got some great imagery and just really laid out better. Rebel yell. I mean, it's looking up all these things. Imagine it's just scouring the universe to make this the best that it can. And then when I'm done with this, I can go to share and then export to PDF. And now I've got this I can put up into Schoology or into my Google Drive or into what I use, Google Classroom. So I've got all that option there. And that's kind of it. That is, of course, you can start from blank where you just go create blank. And here it just has this. And then you start doing it on your own. So maybe you like to work that way. I don't anymore ever since I've discovered this, but it gives you the option to come in here and start creating things on your own. I like having something to start with. And I'm going to delete that. And one thing nice too is I can add to favorites these different things. I'm going to actually add that one to my favorites.